Okay. Okay, can you hear me? Is my audio on? You can hear me? Fantastic. And you can see me as well. Can you see me on camera? Fantastic. And I am I'm trying out this this low exposure type of hue thing I'm doing. I don't know. Anyways, okay. So I will address, I think, what everyone's concerns are. So people want to know exactly where we are now, what we're doing, what's next, and what we've learned so far, right? So right, okay. So in a nutshell, and you can hear me, yes? Okay. All right, so where we are now. So I'm actually already working on the persuasion part. So what we've determined, what we've learned so far, is that in order for us to take over Phantom, we do have to acquire control over the multisig, or really just control over a contract called the SFC contract. The SFC contract on Phantom controls the whole fucking chain. It controls so much that everything else is irrelevant until we control the SFC. So both validation and governance are controlled by the SFC contract. The repositories and API nodes, we could get that now, and we have, but if we don't get the SFC node, we really don't get anything at all. So that's where we're at. I hope that makes sense. So what we're doing is I'm, in fact, putting together a presentation. In fact, we're going to be now emailing Sonic Labs. We're going to be putting together an email deck, like a proposal. Now, this proposal is not about what we want. It's about their problems and what they want, because that's how we get them to listen to us. Does that make sense? A lot of their problems right now are the fact that they're doing a terrible job at comms. Does that make sense? Like, their communications is awful. In fact, I have this book called Risk and Crisis Communications. I don't know if you guys can see that. But legitimately, it's quite obvious that nobody in their organization has ever even dabbled with the idea that there's a right way and wrong way to communicate. Now, I have also fucked it up in the past, but that's also what, uniquely qualifies me to fix their fucking problem. If we fix their fucking problem, we can obviously make an exchange for them to fix our fucking problem. And right now, as an EVM chain, like, think of it like this. Like, they always are seeking out, DAT makers, right? But if you were a DAT maker and you learned this is the same team that killed their other chain, you would immediately be wary about building on their new chain. Do you guys get what I'm saying when I say that? Do you guys get what I mean? And like, this is kind of the stuff that needs to get communicated to them. So like, they are making a mistake. Does that make sense? It's not just like our belief. They are making a fucking mistake, right? So the point being is you have to explain this to them without bruising their ego. I have, of course, had to learn quite a bit about that, the right way to talk to people, and that's what I'm putting together right now. So I have been working on that probably since like Monday or Sunday. Worked on a little bit this morning as well. And that's basically it. What's next is I'm going to complete this presentation. So it's an email and it's a video with a deck, right? And the first presentation is what I send out to all of Sonic Labs. So I'm going to email this out to like 120 email addresses, okay? I'm going to send it to every single person inside Sonic Labs, and then probably people who don't even work there anymore. Make sense? And then after that, the goal is, the CTA is that the board of Sonic Labs gets into actual contact with me. Does that make sense? The board needs to get in actual contact with me. And as soon as they get into contact with me, I would say we're pretty good. Does that make sense? Like if we achieve correspondence, I would say we have over a 75% chance of acquiring Phantom. Being honest, okay? I feel right now we have over a 50% chance too, because we're going to blast their entire organization. And if we don't get in contact with them like quickly after blasting it, we're going to start leaking the video out into the public, which means that people are going to be circulating this as a rumor. Does that make sense? And then therefore, it's going to force their board to come out ahead of it with comms. I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when Sonic Labs tweeted they were going to sunset Phantom, I had to jump out in front of it. Do you guys get what I'm saying? I had to like immediately address that, right? So the goal is to use like that same type of comm structure where we kind of force them into addressing it by opening correspondence with me. Now, when it comes to how we solve the problem, again, we're not buying Phantom from them. We are going to be receiving Phantom as payment for solving one of their fucking problems. A huge one, again, like I said, is risk comms, risk and crisis comms. They are so fucking bad, and everybody knows it now. Does that make sense? Like, everybody is, like, really disappointed, I think, in the comms from Sonic Labs. Does that make sense, everybody? Does it? Does it not? Do you guys like this? This is an orange light, but I changed the hue so it would make me look purple, and I look kind of like a supervillain here. Yeah, I probably won't use this color scheme when I talk to them. I'll probably move a desk closer to the green screen, and I'll record like close to the green screen. You guys know how I do, right? Okay, so let's see, Alexi, right? You have you want to say about like the whole animation thing. So, believe it or not, like, the local machine does not cost, I don't know what you think it costs, but, like, it's arguably, for what you get, like, a great deal. Does that make sense? It makes sense to buy it now, too, because the price on these things just keeps going up, which is why also I want to get a local machine. And on top of that, the way that a lot of these AI companies are working, they don't have a moat. Does that make sense? Yeah. Do you guys know what that means? Moat, like some way to defend their business model from competitors. Does that make sense? So, like, ChatGPT doesn't really have a moat because everybody else, and Claude doesn't either, because like everybody else can also just like make an LLM. Does that make sense? Like Google can. Do you get what I'm saying? So because they don't have a moat, I expect them to begin getting parasitic about the IP that is generated with their toolkits. So I'll give you an example. Unreal Engine. Hey Vexer, this is Vexer. By the way, I recognize you sent me DMs. I haven't read them yet. This is considered like free to use until your game makes like $1 million, and then they start like taxing you. Does that make sense? So ChatGPT could just change their terms of service and then begin doing whatever. So I've heard of Nano Banana. I've used Higgsfield AI. But to be honest, I am already probably in the top 200 in the world at using Comfy UI just because of the flipbook. Does that make sense? So like, maybe say top 300. Now, Comfy UI is really like the best. It's like the best thing you can use, and it's like I'm gonna interact with models directly. Does that make sense? Like, for instance, our customized aesthetic, like our art style, that's part of our property. Does that make sense? So believe it or not, yeah. Our proprietary art style is a real brand asset. And guess how it's made? It's a 60-20-20 blend of 3 other open source remix models. So the point being is that like when I use this exact custom model that we have, we're now playing like we now have like artistic consistency. Does that make sense? And it's ours. We're not like copying somebody else's. Does that make sense? It's like our specific art style to us. Do you get what I'm saying? And we also have the ability to like granularly tune it. Whereas if you were to use a software as a service system, it's really meant for just like generating something like minimally viable. Does that make sense? So like I'm going to give you another example. All the like everybody's using AI everywhere, but like all of like the bigger studios, they use proprietary models on their own hardware. Like they don't share their models outside. And that's the exact way we're going about it too. Like I'm not going to build something great with tools that I rented and then give that recipe to this fucking software as a service company that has no idea if their business model is going to last 5 years. Does that make sense? So like that's why I'm not going to use credits, because I already did that to make the flip book. And as soon as I finish the flip book, I'm like, okay, we're going to use a fucking local machine for the rest, because like I now realize like what the power of that is. So you have to understand, like we're going to be continually making content forever, like once we have this local machine. So there's no point in me just like thinking about Learn Pyre as this project I need to just get across. Like I just need to get over this and we'll be done. It's more like Learn Pyre is the first of many content projects. We're just going to be always making content projects forever. Whether it's comic books or whether it's video storybooks, like the investment of Fergus Fenbrook will be. Like we'll be always doing this for the foreseeable future. So there's no way that getting a local machine is a bad idea. Remember, Alexi, I'm waiting for a piece of real estate to sell. And when this piece of real estate sells, I get half the proceeds. Like, we will have the money for a local machine. Does that make sense? Like, there's no point in focusing on it now, of course, because we have this Phantom crisis, right? So, like, we're just going to focus on, like, acquiring Phantom, and this is a great little side quest to deal with in the meanwhile. Do you guys know what I mean? But, like, I assure you, it's impossible for it to not pay off for us to own our own GPUs. Like I already know how to download open source models and then like blend them and then tune them again to make them like customized to me. So I don't need to use Nano Banana or Higgsfield, because shit like that is just like so much more low effort. Does that make sense? It's low effort, so it's going to become the new line of slop. That's the way I look at it. So like I get that. Like, we might use Suno, but I might use Suno locally, because that way I can, when I build voice actors, I can own the whole file for that voice actor. Does that make sense to you guys? Like, if I wanted to build a second story with Fergus, and I'm using a software as a service, there's no way to guarantee that I'm going to end up with the same voice. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Because it's going to be that brings life to the character. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Every approach we took to like taking the shortcut, like it just did not pan out. Yeah. And Alexi, it's that's the way I look at it, because I just don't trust AI companies. Does that make sense? Like I just don't trust them, because they're either like overvalued or they're crashing, and we lose the control. Like we lose the ability to control them. So, for instance, Alexi, when I own the character Fergus Fenbrook, when I like own and control all the files for Fergus Fenbrook, I also can like itemize every single article of clothing. I can make his hair grow. You know what I mean? I can make him get wounded. Does that make sense? Like legitimately, every single aspect of him, like I own that granularly. So like as a plot line goes, like things happen to your character. Do you know what I mean? So if you're just gonna have like this short film where the character is like, you know, nobody's that invested in him and they want to show off their ability to animate, it is very, very cool. We will probably have animated stuff in the future, but like as far as our ability to really tell a story and like control all the details of the story, it's best to really own every single thing you work with because you just get so much more control. And on top of that, in Comfy UI, you can build your workstation so that like 8 things are happening in parallel. So, for instance, if I wanted to roll a specific way that Fergus is wearing his hat, I can put that prompt in and it'll roll it 8 different times on a different seed, and I'll end up with 8 different results. So I'll be able to sort of like pick. It really is amazing. Let me see if I can find Comfy UI. Maybe this will be like, maybe this works. Okay, this is a playlist, and this might be it. Yeah, like this right here, yeah, which is called Stable Diffusion Models to Create AI Art. And I guess I can only say that if you go through this playlist, it'll give you a glimpse of what Comfy UI has done. And I deliberately go and I download open source models off of like Hugging Face or like or Civitai, right? And I know I don't owe anybody money after I work with this stuff. Does that make sense? You know what I mean? So like I take it very, very seriously, and I know that like Suno is pretty good, but I think I can download Suno locally, and then that way I own the voice files, you know, because I don't, if I have it in a software as a service, it's like in the cloud, and it's like as soon as, you know, I can lose all those files. I can lose them. It just yeah, I don't know. I just don't trust tech companies that much anymore, and like I know that I'm a tech founder or whatever, so that's kind of ironic, but these AI companies, there's just something wrong with them, and that's what I'm doing. Anyways, do you guys have any more questions about where we are on acquiring Phantom? I'm building a presentation. I would like to have it all done probably next week, like probably sending it off around this time next week. That would be great. Maybe a little early, maybe a little late. I'm not sure, but I think around the middle of May, I would very much like to be in communication with the board of Sonic. Does that make sense to y'all? And if we're not there, like within 5 days after we want it, we will just keep making noise. Does that make sense? Like, I will legitimately force their board to have a meeting with me, because we will mill all the rumors necessary to kind of like force them to meet with me. I'm being honest. Yeah, I mean, that's, if I can get a meeting with them, I would say we have over a 75% shot of acquiring it, because, and I was gonna tell them this. Sonic Labs has no CEO. Did you guys know that? They don't have anybody who like handles comms. They don't have like, they're not really doing anything to like get the DApp makers to bill on their chain. Like the reason they want to kill Phantom is because they want to kill the bridge, and they want the S token to go up. But like, all that they're gonna do for that is they're gonna fucking, you know, buy some stable coins and then like dump it in coordination. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, I want to say that like the world of Web3 is starving for like real investment opportunities. Does that make sense to y'all? Like, I think people, like, especially the community of Sonic, these aren't like dumbass meme coiners. Do you guys know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I probably talk a little bit of shit, but like the Sonic community, because they're the old Phantom community by and large, would still be like way smarter than the Solana community, right? Would you guys agree? Yeah. Yes, definitely. Yes, Infectious, definitely. So like, is their plan to like play price chart games, like the way that a laser pointer convinces a cat to chase it. Because I don't know if their community even wants that shit. I think their community wants, like, you know, the old Phantom days. So, to answer Alessio's question about, like, buying Phantom, we're not buying it, okay? Here's a few things that we can offer in exchange, right? We can, in fact, Alessio, I can teach them how to do risk comms. I don't know if you guys remember this, but when Redemption Finance got hacked, nobody at Matrix Money, like, got out in front of it. So I straight up threw a fucking, I went on stage in the Sunnyridge Circus server about it, and like 80 people piled in. Because, like, this is an actual skill set. This was like the handbook for when COVID was a thing, which is like risk and crisis comms. And it talks about, like, how to help people during risks and crisis. They do a lot of shit wrong there at Sonic Labs with this. I can also teach them the whole narrative control thing, because I had to learn that when it comes to marketing the hard way. I can also maybe appoint somebody to be their CEO. I might have a short list of people who I think would make a good interim CEO for Sonic, because it doesn't seem like anybody there wants to be CEO. You need to have like a figure that everybody knows is like archetypally in charge, right? Because I want you guys to know I don't do everything in the Sunnyridge Circus, but like if people don't have somebody to blame or to throw tomatoes at, like they feel like they're not being led. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like it's not a good feeling. So all of the user base of Sonic Labs is uneasy. They're like they don't feel good. And like I have in-depth data there, right? Okay, what else was it? I wrote this down somewhere else. Hang on, let me see if I can find it. There's a couple things we offer. Was there 7 things? Let me see. Okay. I can teach them my model for the DApp Maker avatar. And I won't tell you guys what that is, but the reason EVMs fail at attracting a DApp Maker is because it's not like one person. Like, I'm not a dev. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, I've been using Linux CLI for these fucking nodes, and like, that's the most devy I get, right? Like, I have ChatGPT tell me what to punch in to the SSH panel to the other computer over here. You know what I mean? And then like that's how I was able to do a lot of research, right? API nodes, they're great, by the way. I can teach them institutional comms. I can fucking save them from bad optics, right? I can literally mention the John McAfee Foundation. Like I can use my whole John McAfee. I control his Facebook, and I'm still the executive director of the foundation, right? Which, by the way, like is kind of a frozen organization right now, but it's still a thing. I can take on the legal liability associated with multi-chain. Do you guys know what I mean? Like, I think that they still feel, or maybe somebody tried to sue them, liable for what happened with multi-chain. Does that make sense? Well, I'll be honest. I would have no problem signing a contract that says I absorb the legal liability of whatever is associated with controlling Phantom. Make sense? As you guys might know, I have a blueprint for repegging multi-chain. I think it works. Yeah, I'll probably need to be a bit more famous to really launch it, to like truly get it going. But yeah, it works, right? So I'm not scared of that shit. Hi, Billy Bob. I don't know if you're somebody I know or somebody I don't know, but... Oh, and then of course, number 7 is I can appoint a CEO to be the Sonic Lab CEO, and that's a person that I will train. And then, by the way, worst case scenario, we can also deploy Pyre on S. Like, we can deploy Pyre on S if they give us Phantom too. We'll do that at the end of phase 1, not now. Like, they obviously want DApp makers. Like, I have no problem, like, also building on that fucking, I have no problem also building there. Do you guys know what I mean? But, like, I definitely won't if they fucking kill Phantom. Do you guys know what I mean? Because, by the way, like, if they kill Phantom, it's like the worst optics in the fucking world. It's like the worst possible institutional decision. I don't know. I cannot stress that enough. Anyways. Any other questions, y'all? I don't know what else to talk about. We're about 30 minutes into this. Oh, yeah. So, again, for the 4 objectives. Oh, nice. Oh, well, the thing is, Fexer, they don't know about it. Yeah, Alessio, it's if I can solve their problem. It's if I can solve their problem. Because the fact of the matter is like, why would they kill it? Do you know what I mean? No, yeah, not Soul. Okay. So we've looked at, okay, I can give you guys like the contingency chains if you want. Yeah, I looked at a few of these. Yeah. The point being is that in order to acquire this, we need the SFC contract, which is why we're like critically there. Okay. So we looked at, okay, do you guys know what Monad is? We looked at Monad, we looked at Flare, we looked at Mantle. Alessio, then why would they fucking kill it? They would give it to me if I solved their problem, Billy Bob. Yeah, like, because they think it's trash, right? One man's trash is another man's treasure. Have you ever heard of that before? Alessio, yeah, but like, why would they block people from doing it? I mean, clearly, Alessio, did you see that like the 24-hour volume for Phantom was 12% of what S's was? Alessio, I'll tell you why they should keep it on. Because if they kill it, they are now seen as people who kill their projects. And if they are perceived as people who kill their chains, why would anyone build a dApp on their newest chain? Yeah, that's why they wouldn't kill it. Well, Fexer, that's because they don't know marketing. Like, they wanted to, like, try to get as much of FTM into S as possible. Yeah, I don't know anything about the airdrop. Yeah, like, I'm not looking at the airdrop at all. Like, I don't think that's a thing. Again, the airdrop is, like, you're marketing the airdrop. You're not marketing the fucking chain. Does that make sense? The reason I would pick Monad is because it's in the right market cap range. It has a Alessio, I think they just don't know what they're doing. Yeah, like the costs are not that high. The cost of killing Phantom is way fucking higher than like getting out of the way. If they kill Phantom, nobody's gonna care that they make the S token pump. Does that make sense? Like, I'm fine with them turning the bridge off. But, like, legitimately, it looks like they kill. Does that make sense? The reason they want to kill it is because they want to turn the bridge off. Does that make sense? Because they're front runners? Who cares? You mean the people in Sonic Labs? Alessio, like, again... Oh yeah, Fexer, I was talking about like possible migration chains. So Monad, Flare, Mantle, Barachain. Those are 4. But like, to be honest, I just want to acquire Phantom. Oh, Alessio, oh my god. Like, you'll always have people who just like can find a reason to like suck the dick a bit harder. But like, to be honest, that's not how people really think. Yeah, Fexer, what I'm saying is those chains would be the ones that we would migrate to if we do not succeed at acquiring Phantom, just Phantom. Like, we would move 2-ohm, 3-ohm, and Z-ohm, and we would make Pyre Phantom, Pyre Monad, or whatever. That's what I'm talking about. Like, these are contingency chains for, whatever. Like, I'm going to just acquire Phantom. That's the way I'm looking at it. Yeah, I'm going to acquire Phantom. I recognize that a lot of you guys are on the autistic spectrum, and perhaps you've never achieved anything. Abilito, I don't know if Harry's going to be any help. Like, I'm not going to, like, waste time talking to him. Yeah. As soon as I'm done with it, Alessio, yeah. I think, like, maybe next week. Like sending it off at some point. I want to try to be like in communication with them around May 15th. Does that make sense? Like actually in comms. As soon as we're in comms, I think we pretty much might win. You guys don't know as much as the internal circus about what I'm doing, I guess. And I'm kind of keeping that like that to like maybe not mill rumors. But they don't understand. Oh, Abuelo, if they wait 2 weeks, we're gonna just like spread the fucking message. Does that make sense? Like legitimately, we're gonna spill the deck into their community. Like, yeah, to be clear, yeah, I am emailing this to over 100 email addresses. Literally ones at phantom.foundation and soniclabs.com at the same time. Also, again, the first presentation does not ask for them to give me Phantom. Okay, the deck in the email just talks about their problem. I highlight their fucking problems with optics and narrative control. Does that make sense? The only call to action from the email that I send out is for them to get in contact with me. When I meet with them, that's when I ask for Phantom. Does that make sense? Like, all of this is very structured. And, like, I'm not asking them to give me Phantom. We say, like, it is a... We use the cozy term community-driven DAG. Right? The first community-driven DAG. We say, like, let me and my cohort of hobbyists keep working on it. Does that make sense? But, like, the deck I send out is not like, give me Phantom. You only talk about their problem. I've been talking about this shit since Learn Pyre. Do you guys get what I'm saying? Like, you don't talk about what you care about. You talk about what they care about. Which is why, like, we're not buying Phantom. Like, we're talking about risk comms. We're talking about fucking optics. We're talking about narrative control and how they don't have it. Those are their problems. Does that make sense? And they know that. They know these are problems. Because neither Michael Kong nor Andre, I would say this, yeah. The multi-sig has 4 signatures. Richardson, Kong, Cronje are likely 3 of them. So that is probably the board. Alessio, if they don't care, then Sonic dies. Yeah, like, we're sending it to the whole Okay, Alessio. Okay, oh my god. Alessio, do you understand that when the user base is filled with negative emotion, what do they do? What do they do? Yes, and what they do is they begin making noise, they FUD, and they fuss as well. And they begin, in fact, infecting the junior staff with that same emotional anxiety state. Does that make sense? Hilarious. Okay, so then what happens is the way that the user base feels is often the way that the junior staff feels in the organization. Does that make sense? Like, they share a lot of the same emotional state. Like, are things going to be okay? Make sense? So, often, all the time, the junior staff is bringing stuff to the senior staff, like the board, and being like, hey guys, what about this? What about this? What about this? So, like, the whole strategy is lateral persuasion. I'm not expecting, like, the guys on the board to be the first ones to read the emails. I expect to first infect the lower office, and I know that they're distributed or whatever, but, like, I plan on infecting, like, their internal channels with my email first. Does that make sense? You want to make the junior employees think the right thing is for the board to talk to me. Does that make sense? Because then eventually they win over the board and the board is forced to talk to me. Does that make sense? If they say like 2 weeks no response, I would expect I'm going to get several responses, right? And if we don't get any responses, we're going to use that same deck and infect their fucking user base. Does that make sense? Like, they're going to want to get out in front of it because that's what leadership does. Distribution, like email. We can put it in their fucking telegrams too. We can post it in the replies to Twitter. Oh, by the way, Abolito, we don't talk about Phantom at all into the second thing. Let me show you this. The entire email is called this. This is the subject line. Yeah, Alessio, I have to talk to them about their problems. And, like, obviously, they don't like that Sonic keeps getting misjudged. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I need you guys to understand. Like, I'm talking to them about their problems, which I've been researching. Not like, how do we acquire Phantom? A trade is how you acquire anything. Okay? Anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. You guys seem like you got your questions answered, right? Like, we do not talk about us acquiring Phantom in the first email at all. We talk about their problem, and the whole thing is about stopping them from making an error. Anyways, I'm now gonna drop it here. Thank you, guys. Alessio, that could be true. And the thing is, like, we have to bet that's not true.